How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. My name is Faze Crypto, and today we are going to be talking about one of the central conversations that's been happening in cryptocurrency, and that's when Lamborghini, when is Tron going to be bringing home the bacon and making red Lamborghinis for everybody? That's really what people are wondering about. But realistically, let's cut the jokes here and let's get right into it. The fact of the matter is, we have to talk about social media. We have to talk about the decentralization of the internet. We have to talk about just what works. Now, of course, I take the news with a grain of salt. I mean, I always say that I wouldn't trust a lot of the different news articles that I read out there, but at the same time, it's always interesting to look at the different news conversations that are happening in the public space, and it really gives me at least an indication of where these things are headed as far as what people are thinking. And it's interesting to see. I mean, Tron price hurdle to overcome at 2.30 is leading XRP, TH, and BTC dropping. I was seeing this by the Ethereum World News. It's about 15 hours long, but it was an interesting article. I would probably recommend people reading that. Tron TRX is on to its fiat expansion plan. BitTorrent adds 3 TRX fiat pairs. This is big stuff, people, happening. Tron acquired BitTorrent's web version coming soon. Well, uTorrent. So yeah, these are all, 3 really essential articles, I would say, as far as understanding where Tron, unveiling major updates at end of 2018. This is what we were talking about. Tron moving forward into 2019, 2020. Big things are definitely in the future as far as these virtual platforms are concerned. Tron acquired uTorrent web surpasses 1 million active users. Justin Sun makes announcement. Interesting stuff. Flatline Friday for cryptocurrency. There's obviously going to be people who are on both sides of the fence when it comes to these things, but if you believe in the technology, you believe in the number 12 ranking cryptocurrency, Tron TRX, you believe in the future, then I'm right alongside you. So in this video, we're really going to be centering our conversation around BitTorrent, uTorrent, and essentially how this acquisition is going to be central into the forward motion that we're seeing happening with Tron. When we talk about Justin Sun and where we can be expecting this technology going, really, I would say the sky's the limit when we take into consideration the various different possibilities that are made possible by being the decentralization this early in the game. Now, we were talking about earlier in this video decentralization. I think that we were making a really good point regarding about the whole conversation, how Justin Sun and the team have been working to decentralize the web, and not only that, but leverage various different components that are going to be essential and really adaptive for other technologies and other platforms that are seeking to do similar things later on down the line, i.e. We look at things like Facebook, we look at things like Twitter, and all these different problems that these various different too big to fail, as they say, social media platforms, they start to run into a lot of these different issues because they're not decentralized, because they're not leveraging a lot of these different things. And it's the irresponsibility aspect speaks for itself, and then sort of these various different things. Facebook dealing with international fallout constantly. It's interesting stuff happening across the board, but realistically, a vacuum is opening up. There's really a huge opportunity opening up for Tron. The decentralization. I would say that they're strategically positioning themselves in a key way that's going to be playing a huge role in the future. So it's definitely interesting to see the activities that's been happening involving Tron and the various different developments from a data perspective. Now, you understand, that's really my thing, is I think that those of us who've been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of years, we really it's sort of, we cut the nonsense and go right to the data analytical perspective of the side of things. And the fact of the matter is that I believe Tron does have that solid backbone that's really going to be playing a huge role as we see things moving forward, especially in the world where we're seeing Bitcoin dominance at 51.9%. 100%. You know, a lot of these different variables. I mean, this time of you know, these crypto giants, you know, these huge you know, brand recognition cryptocurrencies, because you know, before in recent live stream we were talking about how essentially it's marketing that plays a huge role into what people spend their time on, and what we see have quote unquote success, you know, in the free market as far as the various different you know, competitions are concerned. So we see the fact that, you know, Bitcoin's really a household name, essentially a gatekeeper when people want to find out about cryptocurrencies, and really these altcoins forced to almost take a back seat, even though in some circumstances they might you know, they might have that potential to outperform, but they are waiting in the rafters. Similarly, the same way that we see these huge social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, you know, you name it, all these different platforms have been essentially owning the market up until you know, very recently, when we've been seeing a lot of the different fallout involving a lot of these different things. But I'd say that cryptocurrency in and of itself, and the great team you know, that's building, and the way that they've been leveraging the international community, it's going to be very interesting to see how these things you know, exert themselves as we move forward into the next paradigm. And cryptocurrency really is a hallmark of that next paradigm, as we're seeing it building up on all fronts. So I'm definitely happy to be making this video about Tron. I know that it's been about a couple days since the last time we made an update about Tron, but you know, there's definitely some great things that have been happening. The new game that came out, and really games are going to be a very interesting component when it comes to Tron. The perspective that I take when it comes to these different games is people spend their time using it, and that's essentially going to be the currency of the future. When you think about people's you know, when people use their time and they're focusing on something, that's really essentially what everybody's competing for right now, is what are people spending their time on. I mean, for instance, right now you're paying attention to this video, you're, you know, getting information, and we're all having a great time, but it's essentially that's the in the future, you know, when somebody's watching YouTube, for example, they're spending their time in that app, and they're not spending their time you know, in Netflix or something like that. So it is interesting. I mean, I was watching this really interesting video by Dusty BC, and I'll be you know, including a link to this video down in the description. He does a great review of this new game that's coming out. Then he definitely goes into detail regarding a lot of these different things, like the acquisition of uTorrent, you know, passing 1 million users. A really great video, 13 minutes long. I'll be including a link to this video. You guys should definitely subscribe to Dusty BC. You know, he's at 20,000 subscribers. It's interesting seeing you know, all these different great content creators in the space, you know, on cryptocurrency. But if you guys are interested, make sure that you guys connect with us on our Twitter. You know, but all that being said, I mean, it is interesting to see where Tron has been taking this vision as far as things are going. I mean, staying true to a lot of the original components of the you know, central underlying philosophy of the decentralization in the future. You know, essentially putting the hands of you know, that creative power you know, in that decentralized way. That really, you know, Justin's son's vision is going to take us, you know, that further. So, you know, we are still fairly early in the game, but it is interesting to see all this news. I mean, 1 million is definitely a huge number. I mean, you know, hats off to them. You know, uTorrent's definitely on its way. So we'll definitely be seeing some very interesting things. I mean, Mac version and such. So definitely all these interesting things. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Thanks for your time. You know, thanks for watching this video and all that things. You know, all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Now, of course, remember this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Remember, I'm not your dad. Now, obviously, the whole point of making this video is just to help people understand these things for education purposes. And obviously, this video is not advice for any means. But remember, you know, it is interesting to pay attention to these different things. And definitely make sure that you guys are following the Tron Foundation on their official Twitter, so you guys can hear the information. I mean, Twitter really is still a great resource for all these different things. So make sure that you guys, if you want, you guys can connect with us on our Twitter. You know, that'd be really great to you know, be connected and everything like that. So all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. You know, you've been watching Crypto Clout, and I'll see you guys in the next one. My name is Faze Crypto, and you know, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and all that. Have a good one.